Hello and welcome to episode 3 of WriteCast. With me, one of your hosts, Stuart.
And me, your other host, Florianne Humphrey. And joining us today is Emma Reid, author of Milton the Mighty and its sequel, Milton the Megastar, published by Chicken House Books. Emma was shortlisted for the Bath Children's Novel Award and is represented by Lauren Gardner. Emma was once a very sensible biologist. Now she uses her transferable talents, such as attention to detail, patience and fine motor skills, to extract Lego from under the sofa and, of course, to write children's books. Her favourite things in the world are badgers, Death on the Nile hats, foxes, desserts, and Buck Rogers. Her one regret in life is never having trained to be an astronaut. We're not writing our own books. You can find Emma helping other writers at WriteMentor, as a Spark mentor, and now a course tutor on our Write Character course. Hi, Emma.
Hi, Emma.
Hi guys. Super nice to be here. Thank you so much.
No worries.
Great.
Lovely to have you.
How are you doing? Are you okay?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm good. I just finished a big stint in the edit cave last week, so I feel free to chat.
Brilliant. Great stuff. And we'll probably ask you a little bit more about your writing shortly. But as we like to start off with everyone, we're going to ask you a little bit about your origin story. So where and when and why did you start writing books?
Okay. So sadly, my origin story is quite ordinary. Lots of people have a similar tale of writing when they were kids, and then I sort of continued writing when I was an adult, but moved from writing for children when I was a child to writing for adults when I was an adult, and I was just terrible at it, really, really bad at it. I am not an adult writer at all. So I gave up on that, and then it wasn't until I had my kids and I started reading children's books again, and I thought, this is what I've been missing. I need something fun, adventurous, lighter. I'm going to have a go. And so I did. So we were reading Roald Dahl mostly, and that was the sort of thing that inspired me to start writing again.
Oh, that's amazing. Do you draw on your kids at all when you write at all? Because you mentioned that obviously you came
all the time. Would someone of your age, says the 47-year-old, would somebody say this sort of thing? Or, if I read this sentence to you, do you think that sounds really boring?
That's amazing. Yeah, I sometimes...
So Emma...
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, so Emma... No, it's okay. So Emma, you obviously did well in the Bath Novel Award and were shortlisted.
Yeah.
What happened after that for you in terms of your writing?
So, there was a bit of a build up, and I feel like you're glossing over this, Stuart, because it has to do with you. And I'm going to turn the spotlight on you a little bit, because before I even got to the Bath Novel Awards was peer pitch and meeting you and all the other people that we know on Twitter, and having that group of people who helped me just enormously. I wouldn't be a published writer if it wasn't for you and the community of writers out there who we all know. And I'm sure this is something we'll come on to talk about later when we talk about mentoring, just having other people to talk to about writing and to just, look over your words, just look at this chapter, or, what do you think of the title, anything like that, was absolutely huge. So I think I'd had a little bit of peer pitch success before the Bath Novel Awards happened. So it was all kind of building, and then got to the shortlist of the Bath Novel Award. I still, to this day, don't really know how that happened. That was just amazing. And in between the long listing and the shortlisting, I'd had interest from agents. I had 3 agents who I had conversations with, and met my agent, Lauren Gardner, just clicked with her straight away. So she was there with me at Bath Novel Award shortlist ceremony, the winner ceremony. And also that night I met Rachel Lachon from Chicken House, which was terrifying, really, really terrifying. She told me sort of after the ceremony was over, and I had quite a lot of gin and champagne by this point. That was when she dropped it on me that Barry Cunningham was reading my book. So that's pretty amazing.
And then obviously you went on to be published by Chicken House as well for 2 Milton books, I believe.
Yeah, 2 books. So I think it was perhaps the week after the meeting Rachel at the Bath Novel Award. Went down to see them, had a chat. Just really, really naive. This is my first ever experience of meeting a publisher, anyone in the publishing industry. And Barry was in the room as well. And I just thought we were chatting, really, about books, about spiders, about my manuscript. And I had to have it explained to me. Rachel had to point out that they were offering me a publishing deal because I hadn't got it. I just thought we were having tea and biscuits.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
So it was lovely. Yeah, it was really, really super.
And I know, obviously, because I know you, Emma, I know that from the point where they decided they were going to publish Milton to the actual finished product, there was quite a lot of work and changes and so on with the story. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about that? Because I think a lot of writers don't understand just how much work can often go on between a book being signed and a book being published.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think one of the things that amuses editors and agents most is when someone sends in something labelled final draft because it's nowhere near the final draft. So when Milton went to Bath Novel Award, it was 10,000 words. When Lauren signed me, we did a little bit of work on it. So we did just one round of edits, which in itself is really unusual. So the book I'm working on now with her, we're on about edit number 4. And that's with my agent, not with an editor in a publishing house. So Milton went up to 13,000, and then when Chicken House bought it, it was on the condition that we upped the word count massively, and it jumped up about twice as much, so it went to about 26k, and the finished book is 33, I think. So,
oh wow!
I mean it's a hell of a lot of work. I was really, really happy to do it because I love my characters. I was like, you want more of this? Yeah, great. I'll do that. Yeah. This is fun. And quite unusual because most people have to edit stuff out and make it all somehow still fit together and still work. And they would just say, yeah, chuck more in, chuck it all in. Let's have some more adventure and more peril and more spiders. So yeah, it was. There were quite a lot of back and forth edits on that.
That's really interesting. I think it's good for writers to hear that and to appreciate that. That doesn't have to be a sort of perfect, polished, finished article. When your manuscript goes to agents, there's a lot of work that gets done in the following stages.
Yeah.
And actually, I mean, so you must have gone then at 13,000. You must have gone from what is the kind of classic chapter book range up into the middle grade range with 33,000.
Yeah, it's a really funny area because it's still a young reader. It's heavily illustrated for a start, so it kind of stayed within that young reader on the young reader shelves, as it were. The language is all the same. The appeal is still that kind of reader age, but it definitely sort of shunted up a bit in there from being what you would think of as a classic skinny spined chapter book to it's quite a chunk now.
Brilliant.
That's amazing.
That's really interesting to hear.
Yeah, it's a bit of a different story. You don't often get a publisher saying, more, make it bigger, make it more epic. They're usually like, no, seriously, you've got to cut loads of this stuff out. You've got too much world building going on, or too many characters.
That is definitely the dream for people who hate editing, like myself. To be honest with you, I'd love to be told to write more instead of edit more. 100%.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. Well, it'd be quite interesting then, seeing as you are someone who's had to write more of a book, just to find out the processes behind your writing, because you're obviously someone who is able to be told write more and deliver on that. So yeah, it'd be really interesting to share with our listeners how you write and your processes behind it.
Yeah, you might regret asking that. So the caveat on whatever I'm going to say next is don't do what I do, because it's terrible. Okay. It's completely disorganized. I write as an obsession, really. I want to write all the time. It's something that I really hesitate to sound arrogant and blow my own trumpet, but we should do more of that, so I'm going to. It's something that I'm quite good at. So when I'm trying to start a new hobby or something like that, I get really bored if I can't grasp it quite quickly, and I'm a quitter. I give up. So with writing, although I hadn't had any formal training, I had a go, and I was, it was okay. This is okay. I'm quite good at this. So it became a hobby that then turned into work, which sort of becomes a bit of an obsession. So I write all the time, even when I shouldn't be writing. I'm supposed to be doing other things, and my laptop is like this kind of siren call. It's like, people who are addicted to their phones. I'm addicted to my Word documents. I should be doing other stuff, and I'm not. I'm writing. So it does start to be quite disorganized and not very routine. I don't do well with routine. So if there's no structure, there's nothing. It's just write all the time.
So where do you lie on the plotter pantser spectrum then?
So I think when we first met, I was a massive pantser. I was writing some sprawling YA epic that had no purpose. It had had a beginning, but not a very good one. It certainly did not have an end. It didn't have any plot points or character arc or anything. I've read Stephen King's On Writing, and I was like, this is how to do it. Stephen King doesn't plan. If he doesn't plan, I'm not going to plan either. Just going to write. My characters will tell me what to do. And oh boy, was I wrong about that. So I'm somewhere in between now. I do some kind of sketching out. I don't do well with structures, hero's journey, mountains, W's, peaks, anything like that. I just go, right, here's my beginning, here's my end. I've like a midpoint, and I've usually got some kind of idea about what's twist or what spin on the action is going to happen at the midpoint, and then everything else just goes sort of in between those boundaries, if that makes sense. So I've got, whenever I start a new project, I have this massive piece of like parcel paper sellotaped to the wall, and I just split it up like this, and then I just chuck all my ideas on it. It's as mad as my writing process is as well. It's just all goes on there, and hopefully lands in the right chunk, and then somehow it all sort of goes together.
That's so interesting to hear, because obviously everyone's process is so unique and different and so on. And from my point of view, like listening to that, I'm sort of cringing a little bit inside. I'm like, why have you not got a multi-tabbed spreadsheet with every single aspect of your story planned out?
Yeah, there's no post-it notes in sight.
See, I'm the opposite. You've made me feel a lot better about myself. I'm exactly the same as you when it comes to writing. I just have like the little sketch, and then I see like Stuart's planning, and I just freak out because I think, oh my god, it's so much more organised.
Yeah.
That's good to hear. That makes me feel more reassured about my own writing because I thought I was a bit chaotic, but good.
Funnily enough, I was talking to someone else about this yesterday, and we have very, very different approaches to structuring, but they both work. Yeah, so that works for her. This works for me. The end product is still, workable. It's a story, and I couldn't work like she does. I couldn't work like you do, Stuart. I'd just forget. Days would go past, and I'd be, in my obsessive writing corner, and I'd forget to look at the spreadsheet. The post-it, I've tried post-it notes, they just fall off the wall, and I don't even notice. But I definitely don't recommend my strategy, because I do tend to hold my entire story in my head, which is exhausting, and it results in middle of the night wake up going, oh my god, I've just thought of a thing, and I have to, and it has to fit in right now.
No, that's really interesting, and it's funny because you mentioned obviously how different your style is from obviously my style, and for anyone who doesn't know, Emma mentors me through the WriteMentor Spark program, and so it's interesting when you're giving me feedback and so on, how and hopefully it's a good contrast, i.e. I'm getting a lot from what you're saying, and vice versa. But what do you think for you as a writer personally are the main benefits of mentoring?
What, in terms of for my mentees?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I think for me, probably the single biggest benefit is just, like I mentioned earlier, is just having somebody else's eyes on your work. Now, if you're lucky enough to do an MA course or anything where you've got that kind of group setting, and you're getting other people to read your work all the time, maybe chapter by chapter, you've got other people workshopping with you. That's incredible. I mean, it can make a huge difference to your work, to their work. It becomes this like collaborative process. Without something similar to that, you are literally a writer on your own. Whether you're in a garret in Paris drinking absinthe, or whether you're just a mum with 2 kids running around like crazy, wrestling each other and trying to drink 10 cups of tea a day, you're still on your own. And when imposter syndrome hits, and when you think, I don't know if this is any good, there's no one out there to tell you, yes, this is really good, and you need to keep going, because the little voices that tell you to give up don't go away. They just keep on at you and keep on at you until you stop. And the only writers who aren't 100% are never going to get published are those who don't finish. So if you've got somebody there who's just going to keep saying to you, this is good, this is really good, I want to read the next bit, yeah, and I want to keep working with you, that's huge.
Yeah, and I definitely think that's helped me massively since I've started working with you. It's just that accountability, someone to send your words to every month, and that doesn't have to be paid mentoring. As you say, it can be critique groups, it can be another writer who you work closely with, and yes, the encouragement. Because one thing you're very good at as a mentor is the old sandwich of, telling me it's good, then the middle, the chunky middle bit where you're telling me all the things that I could improve, and then a nice bit at the end just to remind me to keep going and keep me motivated with a nice compliment.
Yeah,
so,
and it's always improvements. It's never like this is wrong, because it's not. Writing and reading and whatever creative enjoyment you have is always subjective. So to have someone saying, yeah, you might want to improve this way or that way, or if you don't want to go either of those ways, improve it in your own way. It's not for me to tell you how to find your own voice, or where your characters want to go. That's up to them. But yeah, I mean, there's obviously the things of sets you a deadline as well. You have to provide some work for that person because you're paying for it, but also because you want to keep going and you want to get the most out of that benefit as well. And I think anytime where you've got professionals looking at your work as well. I mean, I've got a crit partner. She's amazing. I have lots of people look at my work, but they're great, don't get me wrong, but when you've got somebody who really knows what they're talking about, who has been there, who's been professionally edited, knows what the publishing world, the weird world is like out there, that just gives it that extra benefit as well, because you know that this person, whoever it might be that you're being mentored by, that you know that they've been there, so they can be sympathetic, but also they've got all that experience to pass on as well.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's really interesting. I think a recurring theme of the podcast seemed to be this idea of writing community and getting people to, because Claire mentioned critique groups last week, so it definitely seems to be a theme of the authors we've been chatting to so far, is get support from other people, get some form of feedback and help, and it's really interesting, especially with our mentoring program coming up in the summer. It's interesting. And I was just wondering, obviously there's loads of benefits to the mentee when it comes to mentoring, but you're a mentor but also a course tutor, so you do a lot of teaching to large classes about writing, and has that in any way informed your writing? Has that helped you as a writer? Do you think there's that sort of two-way learning of the mentees and the students, and you as the mentor and the course leader?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I do it because I love it, especially, I've got a great relationship with my mentees. I've known some of them, I've been working with some of them for quite a long time now. But even doing the courses where I just meet people for a 5-week sort of flash, I feel like we get to know each other really well. So you do get that sense of community. And both mentoring and tutoring keeps me sharp. It keeps my writing, on point. I can't very well tutor them if I'm just letting myself slide on all of these sort of craft elements and things like that. And so we did the very first write character earlier last month and this month, and it was such brilliant timing because I have been struggling with my characters in my work in progress at the moment so much, and just to go through that with them. I was doing the exercises with the people, the participants on the course. I need to do this as well. I need to nail this down in my characters. So it's all very well knowing the steps to take, or how to do a deep dive into a character, but to have somebody telling you, right, you need to do this, and then I'm sort of telling myself, well, I need to do this as well. So it's been massively beneficial to me from that point. So it's not entirely altruistic.
I do think, though, that's a great advice for new writers as well, is to make sure that you're looking at other people's work and giving critique in some form, because it is, like as you say, it's a two-way street, and you learn far more, I think, from looking at someone else's work than you do from looking over your own work continuously. Yeah. And I think for you in your position with the tutoring and mentoring that you do, then you certainly get exposure to a lot of that, and it must be really rewarding as well as great for your own development.
Yeah, I mean, I see so many different people with their ideas and their different takes on things, and their different the different voices that people bring to stuff, and it's so much fun, and it's really inspiring as well. So I think all these amazing writers are out there. I'm the one who's been lucky enough to be published. I was just in the right place at the right time. These guys, I almost feel like it's my responsibility to get them to where I am because their work is usually so good.
Brilliant. Well, it's been really lovely getting to know you a bit better, digging down deeper into how you came to where you are just now, and also your process and what you get out of the various things that you do. But we're now on to the most important part of the show. That's the Beat the Host quiz.
Oh no, my connection's going. I'm losing you.
Oh no.
We discussed before the show who Emma would like to take on, and she's decided to go for the easy target, and we'll be taking on myself during the quiz. So Florian is going to now take over as the host for our final Beat the Host quiz.
Okay. I don't know if Stuart's ready for this. So I thought, because of your lovely Milton being an animal, that this quiz is going to be about animals in children's books, because I thought that'd be quite appropriate for your series. Not to try and test your knowledge. If it was about spiders, I'd be expecting you to get 100%. But seeing as this is general books, so are you ready, Emma and Stuart?
Okay.
So first question: which Richard Adams book features rabbits, Fiver, Bigwig, and Hazel? So Emma, do you want to give Stuart, what's your answer?
As Watership Down.
Okay, perfect. I don't know whether we decided how to do this. Maybe if you both give your answer, and then I'll say who's right. It's Watership Down.
Yeah, just do one at a time.
Yeah, I was going to say like hands up, but then keep forgetting it's a podcast. So the next one is: which Victorian era book by Anna Sewell is told through the eyes of a horse? So Stuart, do you want to give your answer first? Or Emma, do you want to give your answer first? Yep, Emma and Stuart, what's your answer?
It's Black Beauty, I think.
Yes, it is. Well done. You cannot beat Emma's enthusiasm to answer these questions. They're brilliant. So next one is, you're both getting them right this time. Stuart, you're doing well. So next one is: what colour is Emily Elizabeth Howard's very big dog? Emma, do you want to go first?
Blue.
A very big dog. Okay, Emma's gone for blue. Stuart?
I have no idea what this is or what it refers to, but I'll give a colour of brown.
Oh no, it's Clifford the Big Red Dog. Maybe I'm the only person who likes this book series, but I had to go for a dog one in there because they're my favourite animal. So yeah, it's red, Clifford the Big Red Dog. The next one is: what type of animal was Baba in the famous French children's book series? Emma?
An elephant.
And Stuart?
Yeah, I didn't know that one.
Do you want to guess, or are you going to assume Emma's got the right answer?
I'm assuming Emma's got the right
answer. Yeah, it is an elephant. Yeah, well done. And the very last question. Okay, so spider related almost. In Charlotte's Web, what was the name of the pig? Emma?
Wilbur.
What was it? Stuart? Do you agree, disagree?
Yeah, I don't know the answer, so I won't try and guess.
It is Wilbur. Yes, well done, Emma. You know your spider literature well. Yeah, the pig in Charlotte's Web.
You must read. You have to read Charlotte's Web.
It is so good.
Yeah, I've never read it. Funnily enough, I know it's a classic, but
it's amazing. It is one of my favourite books.
Maybe something to read with my daughter when she's a bit older.
There we go. There we have more spider bits. Well,
so I think Emma won there.
Yeah, I think Stuart did very well. To be fair, the Big Red Dog one was a bit of a rogue one, but well done, guys. Well done, Emma. Okay, hopefully it will be me next week, so I can be taken on and humiliated by my lack of book knowledge. But yeah, well done.
Yeah, although I have painted myself as a bit of an easy target now, so maybe people keep picking me so they win.
Oh, that's so funny.
Okay, brilliant. So that's us reached the end of the episode. Thanks so much for joining us, Emma. We've had a great time chatting to you.
Thank you so much.
And we'll obviously we'd love to have you on another time in the future as well. It's been really fun and interesting to get to know a bit more about you.
Yeah, I'd love to be back.
Thank you so much.
Brilliant. Okay, folks, that is the end of our episode, and we will see you next time on WriteCast.